Prepare yourself for invasion. This is Indie Invasion.
What up, invaders? Welcome to Indie Invasion Shorts Thursday night. We had a little bit of a break last week, was it? And
Yep.
you know, it's the summertime, so things get busy.
Yep.
We needed some time to take some summer vacations and get some stuff done around the house. But welcome in, guys. We're back.
What's up, Kentucky Fried Gamers? What's
up?
happening, sir? Throw that up there. Yeah. So off. Why were we off last week? I don't remember.
You went into the woods to look for
that's
Bigfoot.
right. That's right. We were in Helen, Georgia. We had to go to the upstate anyway, so we popped over to Helen, Georgia, did some tubing and some hiking, and yeah, had a good time. I was really surprised. Took the kids on a 6-mile hike, 4-hour 6-mile hike. Had about a 700 foot elevation increase. They did awesome. So
how did you do with that kind of?
I did great. Hey, Spaz is here. What's happening there, feller?
Spaz?
So, well, yeah. Here we are, back for more. What are you working on, man? I mean, we were just talking that we haven't gotten a whole bunch of hobby time in lately. But
Yeah, I've been kind of slowly picking at what we worked on our hobby night last time we were on, and I've been working on all my little alien crew and survivors for Violent Dark. And
look at how organized he is, even when they're not painted. Look at how organized he is.
That's because this whole tray was outside. I've been experimenting with speed paints and inks and washes. So my alien guys here. Here, let me do this. Boop. I was experimenting with. I just had them primed white, and then I threw some inks on them, and then I threw some washes on them, and then I put on some speed paint to try and, just experimenting with what all three of them can do together.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to go back in there and add some more washes or inks or something, just to even darken the shadows even more. But because I used that speed paint, I had them on the tray because I took them outside and hit them with a matte clear coat, just because it's that old speed paint when it first came out, so it activates sometimes on me. And I don't want it.
See, I've never had that problem.
You must have got a good batch, because
I don't know. I mean, I've got the old contrast paints too.
Okay.
When GW came out with them,
I got like one or two of those.
I've only got a handful of the colors, and I would say probably the only reason that I don't like them as much as, say, like the Army Painter speed paints, is the bottle.
Yeah,
it's the bottle. I mean, the paints are fine. Some of the fleshes are really good. They have an assortment of fleshes, and they're really good. But I don't like the bottles. The bottles are just such a nuisance.
And I know Army Painters had like a new batch with some new colors come out since they first came out. So I'd like to try those. And I think Vallejo has some coming out, or they may be out right now. I'd like to try those. It's one of those, I don't want to stick with one. I want to try a little bit of each one, because maybe the colors formula is a little bit different. So see.
Oh, there you go.
You got the 2.0 mega set. Yeah, I did look at that, but man, oh man, that was a big hit to the wallet.
How many paints are in the 2.0 mega set? I wonder. So I've been working on, while we wait for an answer on that, I've been working on some of my Zombicide.
Is that from Zombicide?
Yeah, that's from Undead or Alive.
Oh, okay, that's right.
And
I don't think I've opened
50
that
paints,
box
50
yet.
and some old school Wild West Exodus stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Sun Totem, and I found that I had a second Bass Reeves
130 online. I will have to look for that, man.
Oh, wow. That's not too bad for
That's
50
not too
paints,
bad.
man. Not really,
Yeah.
especially not with the real boom, I guess, that the speed paints have been having.
Yeah.
They're I was just watching Uncle Adam video he did. He was talking about a bunch of different things to not do when you paint that just kind of slow you down. Anyway, that wasn't the point of what I picked up out of it. Was one of the things that he made the point, and lots of people make the point, is really most of us just want to get them painted and on the table.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have a handful. So for instance, I've got multiples of a couple of my favorite Twisted characters. One of them is tabletop, and the other one I spent a whole lot more time on, just because that one's just one I wanted to sit down and see what I, kind of push myself and see what I could do. Turns out I still suck, but that is not the point. It's better than my tabletop one. So,
did you have fun? That's what matters. Did you have fun? Or did you?
I had fun playing with my tabletop one.
I was gonna say, you didn't end up throwing it across the room, right? Because it looked like garbage.
No, I've never done that to any of my minis. But I will tell you this: we played.
You're ugly. Get out of here.
When we played the first edition Wild West Exodus the other day, right? I broke out my Golden Army, and I'm like, yeah, I love these dudes, man. They're my favorite. And I'm looking at them. I'm going, these guys are not painted all that well, really. This is really not.
It's tough to go back.
I painted them like 7 years ago.
I mean, you pick up new skills, right, as you go.
Oh, yeah, you really do. And then I finished my Felipe Espinosa and put him with them, and I was like,
yeah,
I am not buying 40 more Dirt Farmers. I am not. They're just gonna have to look bad. They're just gonna have to look bad with Felipe.
I mean, this is exactly what speed paint is all about. It's just another tool.
Yep.
In your toolbox. And
what we're talking about tonight. It's a hobby helper.
Yes. So why don't we jump into tonight? Since we're like 7.5 minutes already into the jibber jab. Tonight we're going to talk about top 5 hobby helpers. Now, this could be stuff from mini holders to the paint that we use for our hobby, to 3D printers, to green stuff, to tools, to, all the little things that basically help us do our miniature hobby. And if you guys have suggestions or things that you like, throw them up in the comments. If you're watching this later when it's not live, comment in YouTube or on Facebook. We want to hear that.
What's up, Kickstand? And there's Alder. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Alder.
Uh-oh. I'm going to let you bring up that last comment.
All right, I got to behave here because
you do.
She called me out once when I was bad talking her. Am I your hobby helper? This is my wife or a distraction? Yes. You help a lot. Yes.
Yes is the answer to both those questions.
Yeah, well, usually when it's look at this mini. I need this mini. There's terrain. She says yes, so that's help, I guess.
Listen,
right?
Listen. We've said this before. One of these days, we just need to do a whole show on how fortunate we are, because I don't know. Well, actually, I do. I don't know about the rest of you guys out there in mini wargaming land, but Eric and I have enablers that we're married to, and they enable our addiction to piles of plastic and metal cracks. So we love them. They're awesome.
Yeah, see, she knows. She's a distraction.
Sometimes right. You distract her when she's knitting stuff. So
yep. So to begin this top 5, I can never stick to just what our numbers are supposed to be.
I know, you're terrible.
And this one was one that I wanted to put in there and I forgot about it, so it got put to the end of my list. So this is actually technically number 6, my honorable mention. So it almost made it on the list, but not quite. And I'll kick it off. What do we got here? I was going to skip tonight.
Awesome. There's another good one right there. That's a good one.
Yep. So my number 6 honorable mention is the painting handle or miniature holder. Citadel has they're
Yep.
normal size. They got some bigger ones too for the bigger bases. I got Sabretooth on here from
Crisis
the
Protocol.
Marvel game. Yeah, Crisis Protocol. And I like to, they're sit there, give you a little bit of ease on your hands, especially as we're getting older, hands get kind of cramped up and stuff. But my favorite one is this company called Wrathcore.com. Now, I think this is a Polish company, if I remember right. I kickstarted this years ago, and this is like their Cadillac model. And the thing I like about these is they have this little rest on here. So as you're painting, you can,
Oh,
rest.
that's what that's for. I always saw those. I never had one though. Good man, Jesse. Jesse said he absolutely married an enabler as well. Good man.
Now, and Wrathcore makes these other ones that are kind of cool. Basically, the way it holds it in, it's just a cork thing that you can put your whole base in there. And when you press it down, it just kind of pressure holds it in there. But yeah, same thing. You hold it, rest your hand on there while you're painting. And then this, they do have one that's like this one. I'm using it just for the, let's see if I can show you guys. It's off the base, so it's just a flat peg type of thing.
Gotcha.
And it's just going to hold it in there while you're working on it. Now, a lot of these things tonight we're going to talk about. I did try to put links in our show notes that this one was kind of hard to find. Like I said, I think it was Polish, so their website's kind of weird when it comes over here to America and probably other countries. But I did find it in some other stores. They bought a bunch of stock and they're selling it. I think that they were like about $30. So they're not bad. They're pretty nice.
This is my mini holder right here.
We got that medicine cap, because I know a lot of people use.
I like to call them fingers. I call them fingers. That's
okay.
I've tried to use them before. A friend of mine bought me one, and I tried to use it, and a lot
of times when I'm switching them, sometimes I forget to put them back in, and I will just grab it and hold it and paint it.
So we did have the bottle caps and double-sided foam tape. So do I have to go backwards now too, since you're going backwards?
Yeah. Well, do you have an honorable mention?
I do have an honorable mention.
Okay.
I do, because I peeked at your notes. So my honorable mention. Now, I think that this is important. Okay. I think this is a very important honorable mention. And that is this. You need to have a coffee cup that looks nothing like your paint water cup.
That's actually that's a very good suggestion.
You need to make sure that your coffee cup does not look like your paint water cup. Very, very important.
Yeah, because
hello, Terrence. What's happening, sir? Welcome to the show.
A lot of times I have the coffee mug, and then I just use like an old tumbler for my paint water.
I know.
And sometimes they're too close to the same that,
I know. I like these. I got these. These are from Plaid. And I like these because they have I was
going to say, do they have the paint rest and stuff?
Yeah, they've got the paint rests and the little spot right here where with your wide brushes, you can brush them across there.
And you can find stuff like that at Hobby Lobby or Michael's, the little paint, like in their watercolor section or, in their paint section. Very similar. I've seen round ones. I've seen, big square ones like that. And I've seen some travel ones actually there too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a couple here. So the free stuff is really the best. So the Jif peanut butter jar, that's really good. Except I'd have to really wash it out because I love peanut butter.
Yeah.
And I'd be painting and be like, man, I really want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I gotta go. Terrence said prescription bottles. Actually, that's the first thing that I used to use. I would take just a little blob of hot glue and plop it on there.
The old Citadel paint. I just put some poster tack on there.
Yep. Jesse said he has drank his paint water. Welcome, sir. Only took one time. Come on now. You've done it more than once. Yummy. Listen, one night, a couple years ago, we had a discussion about which paint tastes best. I don't know if Eric remembers that. All right, okay, let's get into the actual 5. What's your number 5?
So my number 5 is and I used to use this more than I do now. I may have to go back to it, getting, those older eyes, is magnifying glasses or a light magnifying. I used to have at my art desk, like, you have your arm and it was a light with the magnifying on it, and you can just put it down in front of you while you're working on stuff. And then I switched to something like this. They look like little safety glasses, but they're magnifying glasses. Let's see, if I put them on, I could probably see through the wall. Holy cow!
Wow, your eyeballs are gigantic now.
Now that there's good things and bad things about these kind of things. Like, I quit using them because it used to get where you get so used to working close, and then if you look the other way, you start to get a headache from that constant movement. So I kind of got away from them. And also, if you're wearing these, you can kind of run into that bad habit of focusing too much on the small details. So while that makes it look great, it can also extend that painting time where you're just like, I just want to get this regiment done. So
I just use cheaters. I tried like you said, the big magnifying glass, and I felt like I couldn't find my miniature with my brush. I was like,
depth perception gets thrown off with those.
Yeah, it was really weird because my wife bought me one for Christmas one year. That was exactly what you're talking about. It had the big old light in it and the magnifying glass. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, I used to use them for when I did drawings and stuff like that. So I can be more precise with the line work and all that. But I got away from them because of that. It's just I started getting headaches too bad. Because I can't sit there and constantly stare at the one thing. I'd have to kind of sit back, stretch a little bit, give your eyes a rest, and I was just getting headaches from it. So
I've seen the ones too that have like the little lights right here.
Oh yeah,
shining on it. So my number 5 is must have pen vise.
Yeah, I got 3 of them, and I've probably broken all of them.
I've got a pen vise. I've got my pen vise, and I've got a billion bits for them. But this is the only bit that I actually use. You look like the dude from Office Space.
Yeah, thanks. I know who exactly you're talking. Where's my red stapler?
Oh no, it's my stapler. It doesn't take my stapler. So this is a must-have because when I go to pin stuff with this one, that bit that I have in there is my paperclip size bit. Okay, that's what I pin with paper clips.
That's what I do too. I think I might have picked that up from you just because it's cheaper.
Oh yeah, you go pop into the Dollar Tree and you get 60 paper clips.
I know for those, I started getting like blisters in my palm trying to press down and drill in. So I started doing is I would take the drill bit and I was putting it in my electric drill.
Yes. Yeah, I did the same thing. I bought a little handheld Black & Decker that has that takes 4 AA's, so it was never going to get too crazy because that's all you need, right? Is your electric drill, and you've got it on the wrong setting, right through the model. So that's what I did, and I used that a lot when I was magnetizing.
Okay.
So a wow.
Terrence is asking if we've ever played with a wow stick. We don't know what a wow stick is.
I don't know what that is.
Maybe somebody watching will.
Come to me, Google. Let me see what comes up. Tell me something, Google.
Oh, wow.
That's probably a dangerous thing to type in. I don't know why I did that.
It's been a while since I've used a vise and pin and all that stuff. Most of the stuff we've been using anymore is, if not resin, it's just plastic, right?
Oh, that's cool. Hold on. I'm going to share. This is from the Kickstarter. I don't know if it's in production or whatever, but let me I
might have to look for this, huh?
Let me see if I can share this. Let me see if I remember how to share. Share screen. Don't show me those tips. Let's see.
Ninjan did a video. It's USB electric drill. Okay.
There it is.
Wow, that does look pretty nice.
Right? That's nice because I would imagine it's not going to do too. It's not going to go real fast.
No,
Which is really what you want when you're doing that kind of stuff. That's really cool. I'm gonna check that out. Thanks, man. I appreciate that because
some of this stuff is
me,
almost like bling, right? Bling
Yeah.
for your hobby table.
It
almost.
totally is. Like when it comes down to the brass tacks about it, what you need is paint and a paintbrush and a miniature, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. But sometimes these things that we're talking about tonight just make it a little bit easier, or maybe they make the process a little more comfortable, I guess. But so that was, what number was that for you? That was your 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my 5.
That was your 5. Okay.
Well,
so
I think we're gonna go over tonight.
So our number 4, that's why I was thinking I better move us along. My number 4 is pretty basic. It's not a lot of people use these, but they're washes.
What?
I love washes, and I just had something fall off my shelf.
I heard it was probably a wash.
Probably because I was getting so excited.
I got some washes right here.
Now, and I love these. These things have been called liquid talent in a bottle, which I guess, but I think it's Citadel ones that I like the most, because I mean, Army Painter makes them, Vallejo makes them, just about every paint company makes them. But I'll tell you what, the Null Oil and Agrax Earth Shade.
Yep.
These are the two I use all the time. I use them on everything. You know, I do my middle of the road block painting, you know, and then I put some of this wash on it, and it makes it pop, and then I can go back and dry brush and done, you know. It sometimes feels like cheating, but if you just want to get on the table, why not?
Cheating. There's no cheating. You're not cheating. That's crazy talk. I don't really use Nuln Oil, but I do use Agrax Earthshade and Seraphim Sepia.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's a good one.
And Reichland Flesh Shade.
Okay. I think I have all those sitting
Smoke
there.
is the bomb. Tamiya Smoke. I haven't tried any of their washes. I should. I also haven't tried any of Pro Acryl's washes, and I want to. You
know what? So I don't think I have any of their washes. I just have their transparencies that are a little bit more like an ink.
Don't they have washes?
They do have a set of washes now.
I say, well, I mean, if you have inks, you put
a little bit of water in
five drops of glaze medium in it, and you've got a wash. So
that's true.
Whatever. So, so my next one is, now this one's a little different. So not everybody, I think, is going to have this. Okay, that's good. Uncle Adam's Strategic Reserve 7 bottles of Agrax Earthshade. Amen. Amen. That's right. Or Nuln Oil. It doesn't matter. It's both. You can have both. So my number 4, Lazy Susan.
Oh, good one. That is a good one.
But not for what you think. Not for what you think. See, I prime on mine.
Yeah.
But I am telling you, when you're dry brushing, right? When you're dry brushing and what do you typically get the paint off your brush with?
Your tongue.
Not when you're painting, when you're dry brushing. When you're dry brushing. Paper towel, right?
Paper towel.
Right.
You're
right. But paper towels, you pick up fuzz off of them.
True.
Well, a Lazy Susan, it's got a rubber pad base on it. If you get it's like the Dollar Tree one. And I'm telling you, I started using this for my dry brush palette, just where I, get the paint off my brush. This thing, I love it, man. This probably weighed about 6 ounces when I started. I'm guessing, 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds now.
And you got that at the dollar store, huh?
Yep.
I might have to take a trip to the dollar store.
Yep.
Because I like using those too when I'm trying to take pictures of them, or some of the videos I've used the Lazy Susan, or but yeah, that's a good idea. You put that on there, and then it's a little bit quicker because everything's right there, and condensed for everybody.
So I used to use a piece of cardboard for my dry brush palette too. Nothing wrong with it. I liked it. It worked fine.
A lot of times I end up using the side of my hand right here.
And still do that sometimes. But the thing about this one is I wasn't throwing it away. I wasn't wasting anything. Mm-hmm. It was always right there. The only time I ever ran out of space on it was if I was dry brushing a large terrain piece.
There's something for you to look for. Terrence is saying one of the YouTubers out there built a textured palette for his dry brushing.
Huh. Okay. Yeah. See, if you got a link to that, I'll check that out. All right. What you got next there, Chief, for number 3?
All right. So next, my number 3, and this one is now you might not get a lot out of this one because this involves basing, and it's textured base stamp.
I love
or
clear ones.
Or yeah, you like clear bases. So it's either the textured stamper type of stuff, if you want rocks or sand or whatever, or what I really think is cool is that Green Stuff World. They make these rolling pins that you can just, you take your green stuff, you smush it out and you roll it over it. Now these stampers, the ones I have are from Happy Seppuku. I don't think they're even around anymore. I think this was a Kickstarter thing.
You sure you didn't get those at Adepticon 2017? Because I got some of those Seppuku ones.
I don't know if I did because I got a price tag on it that looks like a local store.
Okay.
But they may have got it at Adepticon for all I know. And this one's cool because it was grass. I think it was creek and some rock type of thing. But I'll tell you what, if you guys have not checked out greenstuffworld.com, holy cow, you guys, there is so much on the site for you to just look at for, I guess you'd call it like little helper tools type of stuff. There's so much on there.
They have some really sweet color shift paint too.
Oh yes, they do. That's
I bought the set and I used it on several of my Deep Wars models, and it's fantastic. It's weird using the color shift though, because you start with a gloss black base.
Yeah, that is a little different.
It's so weird. It was so weird to me to do that. I said so Happy Seppuku is out of business.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, they were a Kickstarter, but like I said, there's this Green Stuff World. Look at all these rolling pins they have. If you guys are watching the video, I mean, they're all themed. Like I've seen some on here that were Aztec and Mayan type of stuff, which I'm like, oh my gosh, that would look so cool on a base for a miniature. Like, if you're doing a war band or something that's kind of themed in that. And just in general, if you click on Green Stuff World, here's some of their paints and stuff. They got your basic acrylics and hobby. There's so much.
Yeah, I never tried any of their actual paints except the color shift stuff. So I don't know. I'd like to try some just to try it.
Yeah. I think one of my local stores does carry some of their stuff because I think they're a European company, aren't they?
They are. Because I ordered a bunch of magnet stuff from them for Wings of Glory. So my next one is now hear me out on this one. Paintbrushes. Hear me out. I know you. Oh, yeah, of course, Mac. You have paintbrushes. You're talking about hobbying. Yes, I know. But you got to have paintbrushes that you like. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't necessarily mean an expensive paintbrush. I've touted for a very long time on here that's a fancy one.
There's a fancy one.
The plaid $5 Mod Podge pack that has very small brushes in it. That's super good, super cheap. And listen, I've got expensive brushes too. I mean, I've got my Balmwick brushes, and to be fair, I really only pulled the trigger on those because I really like Pro Acryl, and they were selling them.
I'm afraid to use these ones that I got, these Artis Opus ones at Adepticon.
Terrence says, no way I paint with brushes I hate. You're a rebel, dude. You are a rebel. Stop doing that. No, but seriously, because you can get the idea that you have to have, this high dollar brush or whatever, that you have to have it to paint well. And I'm certainly no pro painter by any stretch of the imagination. And if you're going to be, sure, I get it. You're going to probably want good brushes, but the vast majority of people out there painting are painting for tabletop level. You know what I mean? And so if it's brushes that you like and they fit your budget, and I still love the Mod Podge $5 pack. That is my favorite pack of brushes. My absolute favorite pack of brushes.
It's a good way to get a nice variety that you don't have to worry about, babying them. I guess that's the problem with some of the more money you spend on the brushes, the more you feel like you're going to have to baby them.
Exactly.
And then it gets to a point where you just don't use it the way it's supposed to be used. It's a brush.
Right.
So,
right. And because, because I'm not a good enough painter. So it's like I'm not even doing the brush any justice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you just got to have something that you like, that you're comfortable with. Don't feel like you have to have a $60 brush.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So my next one is my number 2, and my number 2 is an airbrush. Now it can be any brand. There's a lot of different brands out there. And what I like about an airbrush, and I have one, I just don't use it that much because I'm kind of like, I got to relearn how to use it.
Yep.
But it could be fast for getting color down on whether you're doing like big, large armies, or I think what I really, why I got a new one a couple years ago is it's really helpful for terrain. If you're doing maybe hillsides or cliffs, or you have buildings that you're not super worried about detail work on it, just get a couple colors on it, I think an airbrush knock down that time very quickly for you for the getting stuff on the table.
Yeah, me too. I use it for terrain. It's all about terrain for me, for my airbrush. That's about the only thing I use it on. Terrence said he loves what James Wapple does with 50-cent brushes. Okay, but let's be fair. James could probably pour like 3 different paints into his mouth and just spit it on the miniature. And they'd be like, wow, that's amazing. So, what he can do with 50-cent brushes would be 100 times better than that. But yeah, he's pretty amazing. I got to see his stuff at Adepticon at the Wild West Exodus table, his whole Wild West Exodus setup. And it was like, you didn't like your models after that.
That's when you threw them across the room.
Exactly. So, all right. So my next one is green stuff, not liquid green stuff. Man, I hated that stuff.
I had liquid green stuff and it was okay, but man, it did have a learning curve to use. And then by the time you figure it out, it's dried up. So you got to go get more anyway.
Exactly. But green stuff, super helpful to have around just for little small stuff. You do a simple conversion of swapping a head and there's a little gap in the neck. You don't have to sculpt with it. After you play with it long enough, you can learn enough to sculpt some very, very simple stuff. For instance, I can't sculpt anything, but I had one of my Quar from Zombie Smith. He was missing an arm. Well, they really only have a little tiny ball for a fist and this little stick arm. I was like, I can roll out a piece of green stuff and see what I can do. And so I was able to do that. But having green stuff on your desk, I think that's important.
Yeah. I used to use green stuff a lot when I was really into making custom bases for my models.
Yeah.
I think the last time I really got into that was with Wild West Exodus, when you had just a plain old base on them. And I would do stuff that was maybe desert themed, which I used some like the painting textured effect. So you get the crackle and Citadel was good for that. And then I started getting the green stuff. So I'd sculpt stuff, maybe like rocks or cactuses, whatever. Cause it's the desert. I want them to be in the desert. So green stuff was good for filling in those gaps, doing custom base type work. I said, I brought up the stamper type stuff earlier.
Yep. There you go for the basing. So Terrence says, had fun with a stick of Milliput for his Blood Bowl team board. Well, if you have any pictures, you should throw them up in the Discord. I'd love to see that. I only tried Milliput once, and I don't know if I got a bad batch or if I'm just not smart enough and green stuff was easier. Not really sure, but I just preferred green stuff. That was just me. So, all right, what's your last one there, Chief?
All right, so my last one And I think this is probably one of the best tools out there for giving you a helping hand in getting your games on the table and just adding to your experience of the hobby. And that is 3D printers. Whether it's the resin ones or it's the FDM ones, or you pretty much use the one kind, and I think that's great because it's fast. It's a great tool for getting not just minis. A lot of people think, oh, I want to print minis with it, but there's so much terrain that you can print from these things for like scatter terrain. Really, I think they're great for scatter terrain instead of just having, okay, here's a building, here's a set of trees. But then you start getting those little things that add personality to your tables. And I think 3D printing is great for that. It's great for, printing organizers, maybe like little inserts or something for your boxes to hold stuff.
Oh yeah, I printed
tokens.
All my Zombicide boxes are all organized. With 3D printed stuff. And the small scatter stuff, I love these. I just printed these.
Yeah, these are, Mac was showing me these earlier. Yeah, it's oil rigs.
Yeah, those are awesome. Hold on, I'll hold another one up. You can go back big if you want. I'll hold it different. So
now this is kind of a bit of an investment for a hobby tool, but then again, it's your hobby, right? You want to enjoy your hobby, have fun with it.
I mean, anymore though, you can get them on sale for $120 for an FDM printer.
Yeah, and I did put in a link, in those links that I put, I think just to Amazon. I just went to Amazon, and there's so much on Amazon, and if you watch the certain brands, a lot of times they'll have sales around holidays and whatnot, so you can get them a little bit cheaper. And you know what? I think in the last 2 years they've come way down in price.
Oh yeah, they've come down a good bit. And I mean, they're reliable. My one that's sitting over there printing right now,
pretty much 24/7, right?
Pretty much 24/7 for like 3 years at least. just running nonstop. Maybe longer than I think it might have been longer than that, because I had it before we moved into this house that we're in now. So it just, and once you get it dialed in, it just little bit of a learning curve, but not too much.
Yeah, I still have to take that plunge. And a lot of that's just, there's so much out there. I'm a little overwhelmed with which one to pick.
Yeah, and there's a billion different videos out there, good ones that people have done. So my last one is thinning medium.
Okay.
Because you can thin with water. You absolutely can thin with water. But if you use a thinning medium, you will notice a difference in how the paint goes on. You really will. And it's not a high-level Superman painter kind of expert thing. It's just a drop of that thinning medium in. And sometimes it goes a long way, too. I have a Pro Acryl color, one of my favorites. It's burnt sienna. Well, it's a little bit thick.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, really, you should thin all of your paints anyway.
You don't really necessarily want to use water. You can, like acrylic paints, you totally can. But I think a thinning medium, what the key about it is it helps it not dry out as quick, and it just flows better. It actually has that formula that just lets that paint flow over the surface easier.
So this is a good point too. Thinning with Future Floor Wax. That's absolutely 100%. That's been around for a long time to thin with that. So that's a great way to do it. I just have some, little bottles of it's actually, I use glaze medium just because I like the way that I just like it.
Mixes and flows and all that stuff.
I do. And I clearly have no idea what I'm talking about. Just go look at some of my miniatures I post online. I don't have any idea what I'm talking about. But it's what I use, dang it. And I do thin my paints.
And I saw, going back to our green stuff, Spaz said he posted a video recently about a Monpac video, Monpac mini that he put together very badly, he says, but he showed how to fix it with green stuff. So, Spaz, put a link or something up in the Discord. So you guys that want to see this video, you can check it out on the Discord.
Yeah.
So that's cool. That's cool. But
we made it.
We made it. You know what I forgot to talk about, Mac, that I will just show off real quick. Is I got, again, in the mail.
Oh yeah.
And I'll have to take some pictures of this when I bust it open. But I got my Escape from Stalingrad Z Kickstarter.
Because you don't have enough zombie stuff already.
That's right. That's right. Now, I didn't get the minis though, so I got cardboard standees.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll forgive you. It's not like you don't have all of these zombicides.
Well, yeah, I got plenty of zombies with more coming. I think Galactus should be next month, I think.
I saw a picture somebody posted of that thing, man.
Is that ridiculous or what?
That's crazy. Are you going to paint him? Did you ever finish that Dormammu?
No, I never finished him.
Okay,
either.
the Dormammu's only this big. Galactus is like this.
Well, the problem with him was the coloring. He's a newer costume, and I didn't know if I wanted to go with classic colors. So I was trying to
always classic.
Scratch my head on how to do that with the new costume. So
always classic.
That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay, run with that.
But that is it for our top 5 hobby helpers tonight, guys. If you guys, like I mentioned before in the show, if you guys had some suggestions, drop them in the comments, whether you're watching this a little bit later on Facebook or YouTube. I put links in here, and if I see some more good ones, I'll add links to that you guys can go to them and buy all these cool toys to help us along on our hobby.
Yeah, man.
That's part of the hobby, right? Yeah, like you mentioned,
collecting.
You just need the paint and the brush and the mini. That's it. Brush. But this stuff, all this stuff makes it fun.
Yeah, it does.
But that is it. Yes, I put these back on so I can see what I'm doing because I got old man eyes.
There you go.
Holy cow! I can see through the screen.
Where's your red stapler? Is your stapler? You have your stapler? Where's somebody take your stapler?
Anyway, is it my turn to take us out?
I have no idea, but I got the banners up, so take it away.
Okay, Mr. I'll take us out. Thanks you guys for joining us at Indie Invasion Podcast, expanding the gaming universe one game at a time. Please follow, like, subscribe, smash that button on all the places. It helps get the show out there to everybody. And you can check us out every Thursday night when we do our live stream. And sometimes on the weekends we do some hobby stuff. But check us out on Podbean, iTunes, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Stitcher, Spotify, Pocket Cast for some of our past live streams. And I think you can still find the old original podcast on there. Check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Discord, and drop us a line at indieinvasion@gmail.com. If you have any suggestions for some hobby helpers. And Indie Invasion Discord. That's our favorite place to interact with all you guys. Post some projects that you're working on. We'd love to see them. Links to other stuff like Spaz's video there. And if you want to support us, you can find us on patreon.com/indieinvasion. Every little bit helps us along and keep the lights on. But we really like Redbubble because that's the place to get all the fun merch, hats, mugs, pillows, shower curtains, mini skirts, all that stuff, stickers.
Stickers, yes, stickers.
I think Todd R. is our leading fan for T-shirts. I think every time I see a picture of him, he has a new shirt that he's gotten from Redbubble. So we
wears
appreciate
it to
that.
every con and game that he goes to. Got to represent.
But that's it for this week, guys. Until next time, when you're getting your little hobby helpers to help you along, prepare yourself for the invasion.